will therefore have the briefing for the two clusters, the economic development and administration cluster, as well as economic development and infrastructure development cluster, as well as the social cluster. The relevant MECs for the two clusters are with us this morning. The chairperson for the EID cluster is the Honorable MEC Kinetswe Mosenori. Welcome, MEC. And she is joined by the other MECs who belong to the cluster. MEC Desbo Mohono for the Department of Rural Development, Agriculture and Rural Development. The MEC Mohono is well known to all of you here, colleagues. And next to MEC Mohono, we have the MEC for the Department of Public Works and Roads, MEC Molapisi. He is also well known to all of us here. And on my left, colleagues, we have the chairperson of the social cluster, MEC Madoda Sambata. And next to him, we have the MEC for education, the veteran MEC, MEC Wendy Matsimela, well known to you. You will remember that back in 2014, she was driving the same seat in education, and we were together in that department. We are therefore going to be starting, ladies and gentlemen, with the media briefing. We will afford the cluster chairpersons an opportunity to go through the statement, both the cluster chairpersons, and we will thereafter take the question and answer session. We request that we start with the EID cluster. Over to you, MEC.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, members of the media, and my fellow colleagues, MECs from the Department of Education, MEC Health, and my cluster collective of MEC Molapisi and MEC Mohono. The Economic and Infrastructure Development Cluster is constituted by 4 departments, which is the Department of Economic Development, Environment, Conservation and Tourism, the Department of Agriculture and Rural Development, the Department of Public Works and Roads, and also Department of Finance. As per the Constitution of the country, the Public Finance Management Act and the legislative prescript, we are compelled as government to table the departmental budgets in the legislature and to inform the public about the planned service delivery programs. This briefing has 3 parts. Firstly, it reports on the consolidated budget of the 3 departments that constitute the IED cluster, with the exclusion of the Treasury Department, which is largely it's accounted for also in the governance cluster. Now, in terms of economic and infrastructure development cluster budget, the total is 5,519,000,000 allocated jointly. And the Department of Public Works is allocated 3,551,000,000. The Department of Agriculture it's allocated 1.2 billion, and Department of Economic Development and Environment, Conservation and Tourism is allocated 958 million. In terms of the Department of Economic Development, we have a key program of business advisory services that will recruit about more than 200 young people to a tune of about 10 million, which is set aside. The business advisory services will run for a period of 12 months that is aimed at capacitating beneficiaries to either start their own business or enter into business advisory marketing opportunities. And this we do with the Institute of Business Advisory of Southern Africa and the South African Institute for Professional Accountants. 2 million is allocated for the development and enterprise support centers in the area of Moretele, Ratlou, and Kagisano Molopo and Moses Kobtane. That is largely in rural areas, and about 12 million it's allocated to support incubation centers in Orkney, Taung, and Vryburg, and Mokgwasi, and Mahikeng area. In terms of the infrastructure projects that are done by the Department of Economic Development, we have the Taung Heritage Project, which is done through the Independent Development Trust. The project is allocated 35.2 million. And we also have the project is aimed at improving the economy of Dr. RSM, and it will be we hope that it will be completed within this financial year. And for the completion of the Taung Hotel Schools, another 32.5 million has been allocated to complete the infrastructure project of the Taung Hotel School, and also partly what was donated in Orkney. The project is almost at its conclusion stage. What is outstanding is the office park and also the library, especially the Taung Hotel. In terms of the SMME ICT support and capacity building support, the province is aimed at establishing and implementing an interactive marketing online platform, which we allocated 1.1 million. The process is at an advanced stage in terms of collecting data of all the SMMEs that are operating, especially in the manufacturing space, so that this can be used as an online trading platform. In terms of capacity building, we have allocated for 18 municipalities 1.5 million to capacitate LED officials. And furthermore, in terms of business turnaround, we are targeting 10 distressed enterprises in the province to a total of 10 million to support all the SMMEs that are in distress. And the department will further establish township automotive hubs in Ngaka Modiri Molema and RSM to a tune of 3 million. And this enterprise hub, we have automotive hubs. They've already been established in Bojanala and Dr. KK district municipality. So this financial year, we wish to roll them out in other districts. Similarly, like the digital hubs that we will wish to conclude in Dr. Kenneth Kahunda and RSM, as we have already indicated that we have the 2 digital hubs in Mokgwasi and Mahikeng. In terms of job opportunities, we wish to have a target of 2.5 job opportunities that will be created, and we are confident that this target will be achieved when we consolidate all our figures with our partners and stakeholders and entities. It will be far more than what we have targeted, and when the time is right, we will report accordingly. We hope that by the end of the 28th and 29th July, we will be holding a provincial job summit that seeks to address the challenges that we have of unemployment in the province, and this will do jointly with relevant stakeholders and cognizant that it's not only government alone that has the responsibility to fight unemployment. In terms of the Department of Agriculture, we have the household malnutrition program. In tackling household malnutrition in the province, the Department of Agriculture and Rural Development in this current financial year will continue to pursue a ward-based program where vulnerable households are targeted. And the project, it's budgeted for about 16 million. It's earmarked to target 3,040 households and subsistence producers. Furthermore, the Department of Agriculture will be working in collaboration with Agricultural Research Council to roll out the potato production program, of which 10 hectares is currently under production, with harvesting planned for Wednesday, 15 June at Ramatlabama. The commercialization program in the agricultural space for this current financial year, from its comprehensive agricultural support program, Litsema budget begin the process of commercialization of at least 5 farmers in various agricultural value chain commodities. An amount of 16 million has been set aside in this regard. In terms of livestock improvement and goat massification program, in continuing with goat massification program, much focus will be directed to the Ratlo local municipality, and a project in Dr. Ruth Tshigomotsi Mumpati Bojanala and Ngaka Modiri Molema will also be assisted during this financial year. The support is inclusive of small stock handling facilities, water provision, breeding stock, feeds and medication. A total of 56 farmers are to benefit from this project to the tune of 9 million from the Comprehensive Agricultural Support Program grant. And a total of 11 projects will be assisted to the tune of about 34 million, benefiting 147 farmers. Crop massification and irrigation program. In continuing with this noble mandate, the department plans to plant by increasing hectares inclusive of Taung and Disaneng irrigation system. In this financial year, 210 farmers in all the 4 districts of the province will benefit. The department is working with the Falhats, Water User Association, and other stakeholders in finalization of the Falhats Taung irrigation system master plan. The master plan will be used to solicit investment for, amongst others, the revitalization and expansion of the Taung irrigation scheme. In terms of the horticulture and vegetation production, 8 projects across the province will be supported with production inputs, irrigation infrastructure, construction of tunnels, storage facilities, and fencing. And in terms of job opportunities, the department will this year appoint a total of 443 assistant agricultural advisors on a 3-year contract to bolster its expansion on advisory services. This follows a pronouncement made by both President and Minister on the appointment of 10,000 assistant agricultural expansion advisors across the country. Out of the 10,443 will be coming from the Northwest Province, and an allocation of about 11.1 million from the Comprehensive Agricultural Support Program will be used in this regard. The Department of Public Works and Roads in this financial year, in terms of its Program 2, about 9 new school projects, old age home, 2 libraries and early childhood development centers are planned to be constructed and completed on behalf of the Department of Education, Social Development, and the rent value of this project is 463 million rents for these projects. And the schools include Khabeletsane Secondary, Tlhakgameng Secondary, Tlokwe Secondary, Tigane Secondary Phase 2, Kagiso Barolong Secondary, Munnamere Primary School, Khetleng Secondary, Mamudimu High Secondary, Rekhonne, amongst others, and 2 community libraries in Dinokana and Wolmaranstad. The development facilities of 2 old age homes, Sifikile Early Childhood Development Center, will also be completed in this financial year. On Program 2, in terms of road infrastructure, a partnership agreement has been reached with the Northwest Corporation, in terms of which some of the roads project in Ngaka Modiri Molema and Dr. Kenneth Kaunda district will be implemented. The memorandum of agreement has been signed at this point. The public arrangement is being made with Bokhosi Jwaga Phalane, Bagamokoka through Batlasi Development Trust in the Moses Kotane municipality. They will contribute 20 million rand for the upgrading from gravel to tar road of D514 between Bajating and Pelkop Road. And about 14 road infrastructure projects to the value of 1,668 million rand are to be implemented in this current financial year. A total of 32 roads in the province will be maintained in the current financial year. In terms of the disposal of assets, The department is set aside to dispose 463 houses to date. About 150 houses are advertised as first batch. 40 houses of the 150 advertised are subject to objections and verification. 110 deeds of sales have been drafted and ready. All agreements of sales are signed duly by executive authority. 161 houses have been advertised again as a second batch, and their stock verification and assessment has been conducted. Valuation have been concluded during Q1 of the financial year. In terms of management and acquisition of new assets, the department intends to acquire a multi-tenancy building around Mafikeng, estimated at 320 million, to eliminate current head office leasing burden that exists. The department has appointed the Development Bank of South Africa to pilot implementation of total facilities management on Garona Building, Lower Complex, houses for members of the Executive Old Parliament Complex, and Embassy section. And in terms of job creation, the Department of Public Works, from its infrastructure development, it's estimated that it will create more than 12,674 job opportunities, and also in terms of its contractor development programs, which seeks to support also SMMEs. I thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Missy. We will proceed, ladies and gentlemen, and allow the chairperson of the social cluster, MEC Madoda Sambata, to do the presentation.
Thank you very much, Program Director Brian Sitswamu. So, on your introduction for the MEC of Education, when you were saying since 2014, you also covered the period when you were Provincial Secretary of SATU. Thank you very much. Let me greet my colleague MECs from the infrastructure cluster led by their chairperson, Honorable Musinogi Comrade Kinetswe Kazi, and Comrade Des Bomuhono, and Comrade Khawagi, Oaching, Saliva, Mulapis. Those kids who are born when families have a particular situation, then their naming is based on the situation they are facing. Oaching, Awachi, Mulapis. And my colleague MEC, Comrade Wendy Matsimela, are a veteran. So if it was in local government, she will be referred to as an alderman. But we don't have that title in provincial and national governments. Unfortunately, she appears like us. She has no special title. Welcome. And also I must greet departmental officials of all departments who are here. Greet the Fourth Estate media, the people who have possibility to build. They have both possibilities, a possibility to build an individual and a possibility to destroy the same individual. They would have contributed in building. Chair, on behalf of the social cluster and all members of the cluster, we want first to appreciate the manner in which the provincial legislature and its committees had processed both APPs and budget speeches of all the department. the ANC Lekgotla has directed that the 2022 budgets need to respond to South Africa's immediate needs and build the future, and I believe that that is what we have done as social cluster. It's based on the ANC Lekgotla resolution that budget must respond to the challenges facing society. The social cluster, again on the basis of an ANC policy decision, that more budgets from local, provincial and national should be biased towards social cluster as a basis of allocation. So you must not ask yourselves questions as to why social cluster departments, especially education and health, might have the biggest budget. It's because of the ANC's organizational outlook that budgets must serve the needs of communities. The social cluster budgets received a budget of 37,961,062 million. This budget is shared between Department of Education, which has an allocation the largest share of the cluster budget at 20,346,143, which is 53.6% of the budget, followed by Department of Health, 15,186,040, which is 40% of the budget. And then Department of Social Development, 1,654,392, 4.4. Department of Arts, Culture, Sports and Recreation, 774,487 million, which is 2%. On the Department of Arts and Culture, Sports and Recreation, for the 2022-23 financial year, the department has allocated a budget of 774,487 million to carry out its mandate. The breakdown is as follows: administration 122,340, culture affairs 243,954, libraries and archive services 203,606, and sports and recreation 174,584. 24 library assistants have been awarded bursaries to help them obtain qualification in information services. 12 interns have been appointed for the period of 2 years through ETDP SITA and have already been placed in districts within the arts and culture and sports programs. The department is planning to employ about 98 EPWPs and 55 interns to assist in rolling out the departmental program in library, arts and cultural sectors. The department will put 5 million aside to fund various programs and projects through a call for proposals. On top of that, the department will, in the 2022-23 financial year, put aside 1 million for cultural cadets training. As pronounced by the Premier, Re Bushimape, during SOPA, the department will begin the process of constructing the Archbishop Desmond Mpilo Tutu Museum in Dr. Kenneth Kaunda, and 5 million has been put aside for this. The department will revive Mahika Mahike flagship program to showcase our provincial talent and contribute towards cultural tourism. In the same vein, we will, as the department, continue to implement the Taung Cultural Calabash as a vehicle for talent identification and development of that. 4 million is allocated for that program. Mabana Talent Search has been funded to the tune of 3 million for the financial year. This marks the introduction of yet another developmental program that focuses in identification, development, nurturing, and support for raw talent in the areas of music, film, and sports. Further, The department is strengthening efforts to implement Setswana music and dance competitions to help ensure the preservation of Setswana culture. Towards the end of 2021-2022 financial year, the department secured 3 hectares for the development of a proper facility in Dr. Kenneth Kaunda district for the construction of a Mabana center. In this financial year, we will work on implementing the major development, especially because Dr. Kenneth Kaunda is the only region that does not have a Mabana facility. The department, in partnership with the South African Library for Blind, SALB, will continue to implement the project of narration of publishing Setswana language books in audio. Litabong Community Library was completed in February 2022 and will be handed over to the community this financial year. The construction of the 2 new community libraries in Tinukana and Volmaranstad have started, and project is scheduled to be completed in 2022-2023 financial year. The construction of Tlapeng and Migdol modular library structures has been awarded for construction. The completion of Saudi Community Library building project is scheduled to be completed in 2022 and 2023. People are writing here are confusing 2002 and 2003. It's because I know it's 2022 and 2023. During this financial year, that's what you must do when you are reading. You don't read what is written even if it's wrong. During this financial year, an estimated 20,000 community members will be participating in organized sports, and 60 clubs identified from rural and farm areas will be participating in rural sport development. About 120 clubs will be provided with equipment and attire. 200 officials will be trained under club development, and 24 leagues will be supported through club development. As part of improving sport tourism, the following activities will be implemented this financial year. 1. Rural inter-provincial games with Free State, Limpopo and Northern Cape. 2. Netball World Cup initiatives that includes Netball Fridays and National Netball Champions to be hosted later in August. 3. Ultra Marathon between Potchefstroom and Klerksdorp in July. 4. As part of social cohesion and nation building, as well as the Africa One Social Combat, launch cross-border games with our SADC counterparts, Botswana, Zimbabwe and Namibia. 600 athletes will be supported by sports academies. 400 people will be trained by the sport academy. 45,500 people will participate in active recreation events. 200 youth will participate in the annual youth camp. Mante Sports Complex facility will be completed. To help ensure active participation and development, the department will collaborate with the Department of Education to conduct training for learners and educators, as well as talent identification in sustainable school sports programs. Through this collaboration, 11,000 learners have been identified to participate in the sports program tournament in all 4 districts. Under Department of Health, the Department of Health will implement main 8 programs which share the budget of 15,186. Administration, it's 956,338 million. District health services, it's 7,714. I must emphasize this because there's a circulating theory that says Department of Health has a bigger provincial office. The real service delivery point, which is districts, in the 15 billion receives 7 billion, which means the greater part of the Department of Health is sent for district response purposes and clinics and district hospitals, not centralized in the provincial office. Emergency medical services receives 481,349 million. Provincial hospitals receives 2 billion, 054 and 030. Central hospitals receives 2.2 billion. Health services and training 288,989 million. Healthcare support 782,070 million. Health facilities maintenance 654,491. Over and above these 8 main programs, there are key sub-programs that we receive attention in this financial year. Medicines and medical supplies will receive 1.8 billion. Laboratory services will receive 330 million. COVID-19 response will receive 522 million. The program of implementation will be executed through identified interventions as follows: leasing of EMS, planned patient transport and laundry vehicles, improvement of medicines availability, strengthening of mental health services, integration of COVID-19 vaccination, strengthening district development model. The department will also prioritize increase of number of facilities implementing the Putuma project, ensure care for military veterans, and deal with medico-legal claims. The Emergency Medical Services Program, as one of the 5 areas of focus, has already been strengthened with 46 EMS officials appointed both on management and production. 9 forensic pathology services vehicles were procured, while additional 100 EMS vehicles for response were fitted with vehicle training devices for better fleet management. This is because when you make a call and you are here, the dispatching point must look in the system as to which ambulance is closer to where the call is made, so that you dispense a closest ambulance, to avoid a situation where when you are here, an ambulance from Ditsobotla is dispatched to respond here, yet there will be an ambulance next to Mega City. And this is also going to deal with a component of abuse. It's going to stop people from moving around doing personal things with ambulances, because you will know where are the ambulances at any given time. A plan to address shortage of medicines available is in place, and 80.5 of standard national average medicines availability has been achieved by the end of March 2022. We are standing at 90% availability of the different categories of medicines, such as ARVs, vaccines for children, immunization, while TB medication is above 80% availability. About 600 patients enrolled on CCMD program at Potchefstroom Hospital. Mental health is elevated to a directorate to continue to be strengthened. About 1,552 people were provided with counseling in 2021-2022. Availability of mental health beds stands at 982 mental beds at Vetrand, while Bupiron Psychiatric Hospital has 384. We successfully launched the TB caucus in partnership with the provincial legislature and the provincial caucus on AIDS, Provincial Council on AIDS. As part of the resolution of the PCA, it is urgent that the current PCA interim structure is being made permanent to have capacity for secretariat. The Department of Health, working with the partners and the Provincial Council on AIDS, is committed in implementing 90-90-90 strategy, which means the first 90 is that of people who must know their status. both on TB and HIV and AIDS. The second 90 is that of people who would have known their status and then initiated in the medication program, both for TB and HIV and AIDS. The last 90 would be suppression of viral load. How are we on performance? On the first 90, the provincial department and the provincial government, it's at 90%, which means we comply. On the second 90, we are at 75%, and on the third 90, we are at 87%. Strengthening of primary health care services was done with 55 health facilities receiving the ideal clinic status. 18 received platinum, 23 received gold, and 140 received silver. I am, however, pleased to announce that if you were to check the results, there's now clear in the province of Northwest that there's no gap between a rural clinic and a town clinic, because the assessment is for the same. You are not assessed and said you are in rural, therefore let's lower the qualities. I can give you a practical example. If you take Mahikeng Gateway Clinic, just here in town, it is defeated by Mufufutso on 3 consecutive years on performance on the assessment. Mufufutso is gold. Mahikeng Town Clinic, it's not even on silver, which means people in Mufufutso, deep rural, are better served with quality by Mufufutso Clinic than people who go to Mahikeng Gateway Clinic. You can even extend that and take Mufufutso and Muntsiwa Stad. It's the same. Muntsiwa Stad is defeated on performance on the assessment of ideal clinic by Mufufutso, which is far away. You can do a gap assessment between Lonely Park Clinic and Muntsiwa Stad. Gateway performs lower and Muntsiwa Stad than Lonely Park Clinic, which is meant health delivery is not responding on the basis of class or of geography, but it is responding on the basis of equality on accessibility. If we go to HR on health, by 2021-2022, 1,121 permanent jobs were created. 2021-2022, 1,121 permanent jobs. Only in health, the ANC government between 2018 and 2021, only in health, created 5,000 permanent jobs. That's the performance of the ANC government in Northwest. Only in health, 5,000. Some of them are here. Those people we employed. Some of them are here. Under Department of Social Development, the total budget, as I said, it's 1,654,392. The department will continue to provide the necessary support the Department of Education and President pronounced in the budget speech. On the 1st of April, all registered and unregistered ECD centers, including 81 posts from the Department of Social Development, were transferred to the Department of Education, making practical an ANC resolution to have ECD transferred to the Department of Education. That has been done in Northwest. The budget of 19 million is being set aside for the creation of work opportunities, which are in compliance with the EPWP ministerial determination. The department has provided a basket of interventions in form of equipment and stock to women-owned entities and small businesses as part of the support to sustain their livelihood. The department has budgeted an amount of 8 million to implement National Youth Service Program targeting 1,000 unemployed young people in our province. The Department of Social Development will strengthen district gender-based violence coordinating structures. Departmental plans are at an advanced stage to develop a comprehensive LGBTIQ+ program with the aim of preventing victimization of LGBTIQI community and promoting tolerance and social cohesion. Media can help for awareness in this regard. The department's budget has budgeted 15 million to strengthen and fund 23 NPOs to enable them to continue to provide care support to victims of GBV. The department will provide capacity building to 2,530 NPOs in the area of good governance, compliance, monitoring support, resource mobilization, and finance. Most NPOs do not comply with the NPO Act in our province, and their non-compliance is a serious concern of the legitimacy and vibrancy of the NPO sector to partner with government and private sector. The department will undertake your NPO status campaign to all districts to ensure and enhance their compliance to the NPO Act. The Department of Social Development continues to provide social relief of distress in form of food parcels, sanitary towels, and school uniform to households that experience hunger and undue hardships. Its target for this year is to provide food parcels to 16,000 households across the province. 5,500 vulnerable people, women, including teenage girls, will receive dignity packs. It continues to be an issue of the ANC government's focus that if condoms are available free, for gender parity on interventions, sanitary towels themselves must be made accessible to those who need them, so that you don't distribute condoms for men on a matter of sex that is a choice. And you can't distribute sanitary towels for young girls on a matter of their life that is not personal choice, but it's nature. That's the ANC government. Over and above that, 1,902 old persons have enjoyed the residential care service across the province. This impressive figure is despite some hundreds hurdles experienced in Greater Town Old Age Home, which delayed an official opening following some structural defects and heavy storm that was experienced in November 2021. In 2021-2022 financial year, users access treatment services at JP Max Treatment Center. The department has also reached 65,942 people through substance abuse prevention programs across the province. The department will intensify its collaboration with all stakeholders and funded NPOs. An amount of 4.2 million has been set aside to fund 8 organizations that provide aftercare and prevention services and communities. The department also registered 6 community and private organizations that also deal with the treatment and rehabilitation of substance abuse. The National Development Agency Northwest has been allocated 2 million to implement its primary mandate of contributing towards the eradication of poverty and its causes of granting funds to civil society organizations, and this will see the creation of 300 work opportunities in the current financial year. The Department of Education, that's under Department of Education, the Department of Education will use the allocated 20 billion 346,143 budget to implement the following programs. The department intends to spend the allocation 14,965,928 to propel the realization of the following 6 priorities. Foundation skills of numeracy and literacy, especially the ability for every 10-year-old to read for meaning by 2030. There is a plan for immediate implementation of curriculum with skills and competencies for a changing world, with emphasis being on the 3-stream model: entrepreneurship education, focus schools, coding and robotics, and the implementation of the 4th industrial revolution. That's the 14 billion of the 20 billion. Again, like in health. People would think that 20 billion means education has the highest number of tenders, or 15 billion means health has the highest number of tenders. The two have key programs dealing with development of society. That's why when you deduct from the 20 billion, you only are left with 6 billion. And 14 billion goes to development of our people, not on tenders. That's how the budget must be seen. The ECD will spend its allocated budget of 974,713. We must welcome officially with you media, welcome the transfer from social development to education, and that education has properly prepared acceptance of early childhood development program and integrated that to education, which means from day one, a child would be in education. On the last day, a child will be in education between basic and higher education. That's what ANC has resolved on. Train 800 ECD practitioners. No, I don't want you to ask where is the ANC. I want you to know it's an ANC program of service delivery. 800 ECD practitioners will be trained on the national curriculum framework, birth to 4-year-olds. Enrollment of 200 practitioners in the ETDP SETA accredited training on national qualification level 5, and provision of 200 teachers who are in public schools will receive in-house training on the screening, identification, assessment, and support, and provide education toys. ANC government, provide education toys, fantasy furnitures, and jungle gums to 310 public ordinary schools offering grade R to ensure stimulation of young learners. The department will endeavor to improve on the preparedness of young children from early childhood development to 4-year-olds for entry into grade R, which will necessitate the expansion of grade R. The department has allocation a total budget of 1.2 billion, again gone, not in tenders, to provide and improve the quality of school physical infrastructure in the province for the current financial year. They will be expanding, upgrading, repair. This is where business participates here. This will include giving attention to storm-damaged schools and eradication of asbestos structures in about 114 schools in the province. The department will conduct infrastructure conditional assessment in all schools and ECD centers over the next 2 years. The condition assessment will direct the maintenance program to address 7-year targets through the addition, maintenance, and repair initiatives. There will be implementation of maintenance and construction of ECD centers for first-time year students, which means there's no reason from the middle class ourselves here to find the most expensive ECD in town to send our kids, because education is improving this level of early childhood development centers. Send them to most expensive schools. When school fees of private schools drain your pockets, the first people you target is government, because your pockets are drained by private services you are sustaining, and government must now come on and help you. Yet, your choices are more expensive and unbearable to take as individuals. The Education Infrastructure Grant Framework to earmark 60% of the education infrastructure grant towards the maintenance of existing infrastructure, which means now the ANC has changed. Maintain that what we have, 60%, build new, 40%. Remember, if you don't do that, it's expensive to go back to refurbish than if you were to keep up with maintenance. The department will also engage the community to build school infrastructure under the supervision of management contractors. An infrastructure development plan focusing on delivery and regular maintenance with a proper sense of cost and financing. Furthermore, the department will work with sports and recreation, arts and culture, health, and the South African Police Services to teach and promote social cohesion, health and school safety. The department is committed to improving the physical and aesthetic condition of our schools. Provision of decent sanitary towels to pubescent girl learners is in quintile 1 to 3 primary and secondary schools, and their peers in special schools will be done through the Sanitary Dignity Program. Processes for procurement of textbooks and stationery will start early in the current financial year to ensure that schools receive their learner material before the commencement of the next academic year. The MST grant is allocated 2.2 billion for the 4 identified agric-focused schools, MEC Muhono from DART, for the 4 agric-focused schools. 6.2 to provide necessary resources to 10 schools offering computer application. 6.2 again to FET schools piloting technical occupation subjects in grade 9, 2.2, 6.2 and 6.2 respectively in the next coming financial years. National School Nutrition, which is a program meant to mitigate hunger in school premises done by the ANC government, will feed 749,567,000, not 100, 749,000 will be fed in that program in 1,328 schools with the amount of 565,603 million. At the time, the implementation of the phase 3 of the Presidential Youth Employment Initiative started on 1st April 2022, will end on 31st August 2022. It is a 5-month project which is allocated 409,454. For employment, I said in health, 5,000. Here on presidential program, 19,196 young people in Northwest in the program. The budget allocated to subsidize 31 independent schools, 2022, the ones you like too much, we still fund them. you go and pay extra money. In the financial year is 38. Listen to this. They are going to claim that they have too much money. Government give them 38,665,000. About 66 million has been allocated for operational activities of examinations and assessments such as printing of question papers, payment of security service at marking centers, training of all marking personnel who ensure that examination process are credible. The department continues to grapple with the pressure of compensation of employees, which consumes the highest 75.6% of the budget. The budget of 862,983 million will be utilized for the provision of assistive devices, learner transport subsidy, as well as the provisioning of additional vehicles to special schools. The department will continue to improve the implementation of the technical occupation subjects in the identified 4 special schools, namely Kierhof, Paul, War School de Vilge, and Colleen. In the 2022-2023 financial year, a conditional grant for learners with severe to profound intellectual disability, conditional grant is allocated the amount of 18,317,000. The department will further utilize the social sector EPWP incentive, which is 4,642,000, to pay stipend to 177 classroom assistant placed in 177 public schools. In conclusion, the social cluster is confident that the allocated 37,961,062 billion will be used responsible to improve service delivery in our province, in line with the marching orders of our Premier and marching orders of the African National Congress. The social cluster will continue to meet to monitor progress and discuss ways and means of improving and proper implementation. We are also looking forward to a working relationship with all oversight structures of the province, including the legislature, portfolio committees, Auditor General, the Public Service Commissioner, Provincial Treasury, and the monitoring and evaluation team in the Office of the Premier, who we believe are equally eager to make this budget beneficial to our people. Thank you very much. Yes, we are.
No, thank you very much, MEC. Thank you very much. Let me acknowledge the presence of Dr. Shadrack Mvula from the Department of Education, as well as Paul Daphne, who is an advisor to the Premier. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2 statements have been shared and presented to you. At this time, we will then afford you an opportunity to raise questions. I will note hands. You will indicate your name and the media house that you represent as you pose your question. Over to you, ladies and gentlemen. Who wants to break the ice? Pat, there's Patrick Dinto. Yes?
Obviously, the statements, rants, the presentation needs follow-up to individual departments. So, are you able to share with us the statements, rants, so that at an appropriate time we should arrange with an relevant individual department for follow-up? Because to me, when we club them together, it's going to be difficult for us to put up a package for that. So for radio, there's no problem, but for television, it will be difficult. But if we can get the statement, then we'll be able to can make follow-ups with individual MECs or departments for that matter. Is it possible?
In fact, it is possible. The statements have been shared already electronically by Bonolo. You can just check your email.
All right.
Definitely, you'll find them.
And then the second one is another appeal, please. These clusters that we have presented, we don't have a problem with them. But I'm appealing from my side now. I thought these other clusters that are not here, that are very problematic for that matter. Can you arrange them, as you alluded to earlier on, the sooner the better, particularly the department they are we had problems with Kora transport last week. We had challenges last week where we were accident. We need to make some follow-ups on that. Maybe they have to account to that, and especially Kokta, we got problems with the municipality. So we thought they would be here so that we should engage them. But the sooner you arrange such arrangement with them, the better. We will appreciate that. Otherwise, I don't have any questions, but we make necessary arrangement with individual departments and MECs through obviously their spokesperson as a matter of protocol. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Pat. No, certainly the arrangement will be made. As soon as we have consulted the relevant chairperson of the cluster, we will inform you of the date for that cluster media briefing. Any other? Zwelake, are you fine? Were you doing it live? Oh, okay, okay, no. Zwelake Hoza is fine from Newsroom Africa. Silwana, are you fine?
I'm fine, thank you. I share the same sentiments as my colleague.
Okay. Yeah. Silwana is from SABC TV. She's fine. Where is Tabang?
No, everybody's fine.
Are you fine? Okay. No, it does look like.
We only received one question via our Facebook live stream. One of the colleagues is asking the MEC for Public Works and Roads. How far is the office with regard to connect a road from Sumodi to Malipelesa, Chalet in the Greater Taurus municipality, and Dr. Yusuf in Mpati district, since the disaster of 2019, where himself and the Premier Job Mokoro visited the area to assess it. It's just one question I think the police is also aware of it, maybe that will only be explained. That's the only question that we are looking for.
Okay, it will then mean after that question we will be closing because it doesn't look like there are any questions. The statements were very clear. MEC Mulapisi, I'm affording you the opportunity.
You can come here.
You come?
Come here, there's you have an opportunity to appear like us in TV. Yeah, he must come here and appear in TV. Come on, media.
Thanks very much, Setswamu. Now I'm not the chairperson at cluster, you see, Mrs. Samat. So I don't have to come here and appear on TV. But let me appreciate the opportunity. Maybe I need to say this. Firstly, the chairperson of the cluster, I think, did mention that for this financial year, through your provincial road maintenance grant, will be doing 40 roads. And then there are other roads that will attend to. they have been mentioned, and during the budget speech, I think we have also mentioned those roads that will be upgraded, including your Nelson Mandela Road to Denville. We have done all the roads that are affected by your floods. We have indicated that due to the limitation of the budget, would not be in a position until maybe we receive additional funding from the Department of Transport, will not be in a position to attend all the flood damaged roads. But what we'll do within our means, and given the capacity that we have, we will attend to some of the roads so that we reduce the severity of the flood damage roads. Specifically to this one, the Seoding to Madipalesa. As far as I'm concerned, many of the roads that were affected by the floods in the last year, they were attended to. So I'm not aware that your Seoding Madipalesa road has not been attended to. What I will do, I will follow up with the district and ensure that we respond promptly to that road, because if it was, of course, affected last year, it should have been attended to. That would be my response to the question, and thanks very much for the opportunity.
Thank you very much, MEC Molapisi. Ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of the briefing. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you,
Thank
MEC.
you. Thank you all.
No.